In this video, we're going to go through the steps necessary to install the MDD PHP version to a PHP-based website. I'm at a demo website that simulates the main site, in other words, the non-mobile site that we are going to attach the MDD PHP version code to. So the first thing you need to do, of course, is to ensure that you are working on a PHP-based website. And while there are a variety of different ways to do that, I'm going to show you just one now. I'm going to open up FileZilla, which is an FTP program. In other words, the program used to transfer files from my computer to my hosting account to the main site's server. First, on the right-hand side is the actual contents of the server, the main site that I'm working on. On this left-hand side is the actual content and files on my local computer, my local machine. So on the server, I need to navigate to the specific area of the server that has the index file. In other words, the home page file for the main site. For this particular server, the root directory, as it's referred to, is public_HTML. This will not always be the case, although it frequently is. Yours might be htdocs, it might be www, it might be something else. Check with your server, with your hosting company, if you are unsure. So I'm going to double click the folder icon to get into the root directory, and I'm going to see if I find the index file for my home page. And I do. Please note that you can find index files in multiple directories, so just finding an index file does not mean you have found the home page. You need to test this to make sure. Again, before adding any code or making any changes to a server, it's always wise to make a full backup of the website. You can do that by either downloading all of the files of the website via FTP. You can log into your cPanel if they have that availability, most do, to make a full website backup. There are a variety of different ways to do it. If you are unsure, please contact the host that serves the main site's website and ask them about the options to make a full website backup prior to adding MDD to the site files or to the server. So once the backup has been made and you've navigated on the server to where the index page is found, in other words, again, the home page for the main site, take a look at the page extensions. You'll see here that these are all index. This is index.php, services.php, hours.php, etc. In other words, we can tell already because of the page extensions that this particular site does support the use of PHP. If it did not, this site would not work. In the file type area, you'll see that FileZilla is giving us a file type of PHP script, and that's further information that will tell you basically that PHP or MDD, the PHP version, is probably likely the right way to go for this particular main site. So once you have navigated to the index.php file, you've completed the first major step. We need to upload the contents or the MDD code into this same area on the server. In other words, the MDD PHP files need to be uploaded and need to live alongside these files that we currently see online. So on the left-hand side, you can navigate on your own machine to where you have downloaded and stored the MDD code. In this case, we're looking for the folder named MDD-PHP. Double-clicking that folder icon will show me the contents. There is a folder or directory named cache, a PHP file named browsecap, a PHP file named class.mobile.php, a PHP file named mddutility.php, and lastly a simple text file named php-snippet. The only file that we do not need to upload at this time is the PHP snippet. And in all actuality, we're not even going to be touching this file. This is just for your own reference in the future. We don't need it. So what I'm going to do to facilitate this, and again, there's a variety of different ways to transfer files via FTP, but here's one easy way to do it. I'm going to click on MDD Utility which in this case happens to be the last file in the list. Use the scroll bar to go to the top. I'm going to hold down Shift, my Shift key on my keyboard, and I'm going to left click Cache. That is going to obviously highlight or select each one of those files. There are 3 individual files and 1 folder, the cache folder. With that done, I'm going to right click in the selected area and choose Upload, and that will start the upload process. In other words, FileZilla will start to transfer the files from my local computer to the server via FTP. Okay, once the files have been uploaded to the server, we can just check to make sure that they are where they should be. There's the cache folder or directory here that we just uploaded. We'll see the browsecap.php file, the class.mobile.php file, and lower down we will find the mddutility.php file. The important part is that the files, browsecap and class.mobile.php as well as mddutility, are in that same list of files alongside your index file. You can see that they are not contained in another folder or directory. So with that done, we can actually go back live to the web and open up a browser. And what we want to do is, after the main site's URL, this is the demo URL for this demo website installation, I'm simply going to add a / and then I'm going to type mddutility.php. This is the actual file name for the utility file that we just uploaded in the last step. Again, / mddutility, utility.php, and I'm going to hit my enter key on my keyboard. This takes us to the special mddutility file that we've created and supplied for you. This file will basically make your life a lot easier, and it will help you get this process done faster. So the first thing you need to know is the PHP version. You'll see currently it says 5.3.13. PHP needs to be at least 5.3, 5.3. Anything less than 5.3 will not work for MDD. So you'll either need to contact your host and ask them to upgrade or update the PHP version, or you'll need to contact our support for a workaround. So that's the first step. The next step is to make sure that all of the appropriate and necessary files were found. Since we are installing the PHP version, you can just completely ignore this red not found statement for the JavaScript version. We are not doing JavaScript in this step. So we are looking for the PHP version check. We see that it found in green the class.mobile.php file, which is good. We see that it found the browsecap.php file, and that we see that it also found the cache directory and that the cache is okay. So everything that we need installed has already been installed, and this mddutility just makes sure that everything was done correctly. If you see any of these statements say not found and be in red, then something was uploaded improperly to the server, and you need to go back and check and fix that. The last thing to do is we need to copy the PHP snippet, these 4 lines here, generated by the mddutility file. It has already properly updated the path to the class.mobile.php file, and it's done that dynamically for you, so you don't have to figure out how to do this yourself. It can be somewhat cumbersome. After we copy this to a text file, we will only need to make one small change to this file in order for it to work. We simply need to replace this default URL with the full URL path to the mobile site's homepage. Once that's done, we can add this PHP snippet to the main site's source code, and MDD will start to detect and redirect mobile visitors. That's pretty much all there is to it. It's a very fast process. So what I'm going to do is first highlight these 4 lines of code. I simply just left-clicked at the end, and I've dragged my cursor or my mouse upward until everything was selected like so. I'm going to, on my keyboard, choose Control and C to copy. And then I'm going to open Notepad and paste this text inside. With Notepad open, I'm simply going to Control V, my keyboard, to paste the contents of the PHP snippet. And then, like I said, we need to update this particular URL path. Now, if my website's, my mobile site's homepage URL was m.yourdomain.com, that is what I would enter in this area. The safest way to do this is to simply visit your mobile site that is currently online. I'll do that now. We'll go to our default test page. Of course, this isn't all that attractive, but you'll see that this page or this URL is mtest.mobiledevicedetect.com. This simulates our test page for our mobile friendly website, the home page for our mobile friendly website. So I'm going to use my browser. I'm going to just left click in it till it highlights the entire bit. I'm going to Control C to copy that to my clipboard, and I'm going to go back to the text file, and I'm going to basically highlight all of the existing, and of course I didn't get it all. Either highlight all the existing, or of course you can just backspace and delete it. Just make sure that you leave the quotation marks, otherwise you will have difficulties. Control V to paste, and you will see that it has pasted in the full URL path to my mobile test page. It has also included the http:// which is necessary, so make sure that that is included. Anyway, after doing this step, simply save this file somewhere on your machine, and once the file is saved, to your project, you'll have this for future reference, and you'll have the ability to add this now to the main site's coding. So the next step, basically, before we go any further, is we want to go back to the server and remove the mdd utility.php file. This file was only needed for the short time that we were going to actually check the output and copy the snippet. It's no longer required or needed. It's best removed from your server. So I'm going to, through FileZilla, I'm going to left click on it first to activate it. Of course, I clicked twice. Then I'm going to right click and choose delete. So click on it once to activate it, right click and choose delete. Confirm that you do want to delete the file. And since I'm logged in via SFTP, Secure File Transfer Protocol, it's going to make me do it again. If you're logged in via normal FTP, the non-secure version, you'll likely only have to do this once, but I want to make sure that it's gone. This button here is the refresh button for FileZilla, so you can refresh the contents of the server. Just make sure that the mdd utility.php file is removed from your server prior to going on to the next step, and I can see that it is now. So with that done, we need to add the PHP snippet that we copied and updated in the last step to the main site into the source code. And once that's done, this process is finished and MDD will go to work. So there is more information in the instructional guide. I am showing you probably the most simplistic setup that you're going to run into, and you will run into this setup, but there are more complex setups that you may run into than what I'm about to show. If your system or your setup is different than what I'm showing you, please look to the instructional guide as it provides more detailed information. However, I'm going to add the code to the index page. Please make a quick note though, the redirect code needs to be placed on every page that you wish to redirect. Sometimes you may only wish to redirect, when people visit the home page, they're taken to the mobile page, the mobile site. But if you desire to redirect mobile visitors to every single page of your website, depending upon how the site is built, it may require you to add the PHP snippet, the exact same one, to each one of the individual files. And in this case, that's exactly what I would need to do. I would need to add it to the contact page, to hours, to the index or the home page, to the services page, Further up would be the About Us page, etc., in order to redirect mobile visitors away from each page of my website and to my mobile-friendly website. Some PHP sites, and actually many of them, are built differently. They're templatized in such a manner that one specific file, very frequently named header.php, actually outputs the head code or the top source code across every page of the website. And in those cases, it's even easier because you simply have to paste the MDD PHP snippet into that one file rather than having to paste it on each page of the website. Again, the instructional manual has more information regarding this. So for now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add it to the index.php page, the home page's source code. I can do this simply by downloading this page from the server to my machine such that I can alter it, or if you're more savvy, you can actually alter it right on the server. FileZilla does allow you to view the file rather, and update the file right on your server. You can do that by right-clicking and choosing View Edit. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to download it. Right-click and choose Download. It's going to download this file. First, I'm going to navigate to where I want it. We'll put it right here in this main area. Now right-click, choose Download, and you'll see that it's going to add this file now onto my local machine. Now that it's here, I can open it up and we can edit this file. Okay, I've opened the index.php file with my favorite text editor, Edit Plus, which is a paid program. You do not need Edit Plus in order to do this work. You can open it up in simply Notepad, or if you're on a Mac, TextEdit. Those will work just fine. Generally speaking, we are looking for the doc type declaration, which on this particular page is the very first line of code, and that will typically be the case. The doc type declaration actually spans these two lines, but regardless, it really doesn't matter. What we need to do is place the PHP snippet at the very top, the very first of this particular page, the index.php source code. So I'm going to open up Notepad again, and we're going to copy the snippet that we've updated. Control C. I'm going to put my cursor at the very beginning, and I'm going to use Control V to paste it. With that done, we will have placed the PHP snippet at the very top of this page. Note that I've got a space beneath the PHP snippet and between basically it and the doc type declaration. This really doesn't matter. I could have a number of spaces. It wouldn't change anything. Leaving one is just attractive to me because it does make it visually easier to see a separation. The most important part after adding it is to ensure that nothing precedes this opening PHP tag. This opening PHP tag must be at the very top, very left of your code, otherwise you may run into problems. In other words, even one small space, it's very hard to see, this might cause problems. This blank space here that I'm highlighting now. You might have a character instead. Maybe it was a period. Maybe it was this. This will cause problems. So just double check before saving the file and uploading it to the server that you ensure that nothing precedes the opening PHP tag. So with this done, we can upload it back to the server, and mobile device detect MDD will go to work for us. A quick note, not every site source code will have the doc type declaration. Some may leave this off, and you may only see a starting HTML tag. If that's the case, don't worry about it. Simply put the PHP snippet at the very top, of course, ensuring that it's above the HTML tag. If you see current PHP on the site, a bit of PHP code already on the site, don't worry about that either. Again, if that was already there, I would simply push it down a bit and I would paste the PHP snippet again to the top. You need the mobile device detect PHP snippet to be the very first thing on the source code. Nothing can live in the source code prior to the MDD PHP snippet. So with that done, you can save the page and we can upload it back to the server. So this is the file that I downloaded and we altered. I'm now going to right click and choose upload. It's going to ask me if I am sure, do I really want to overwrite this file because it already knows that that file exists. I'm going to choose OK, and it's going to finish that process. With that process finished on this demo site, if I visited this site now in or with my mobile device, it would be redirected to whatever mobile URL I gave it, in this case the mobiledevicedetect.com test page. So if you do not have a mobile device to test, there is a way to do it from your desktop machine, and I've covered that in the instructional guide, and I will cover it again in a subsequent video.